Hi, I'm Erin Knoll here with the World of Outlaws, and I'm here with Crew Chief Barry Jackson of the CJB Motorsports team, and he's going to show us a little shop today. After you, Barry.
Okay. Well, we got finished with a race last night, so the guys here are just doing a little car maintenance and so forth here on the car we raced last night. Over here's just a few parts, tires and so forth here for a couple of the upcoming races. Got some tail tanks over there that we still have to get some decals and numbers and so forth on those yet.
How many times a year do you go through a tail tank, or you say?
Depends how much we wreck. No, generally 4 or 5 probably. I mean, we try to do up, I don't know, we got a bunch of them. We probably have 8 or 10. We have a little, it depends if we're doing the same paint scheme and so forth, but we got a little behind there on the winter. We had a little painting problem and so forth that was going on. We got that all situated, so we're a little bit behind on those, but we'll get those caught up here soon. And here's our machine shop area where we do our fabrication and so forth. Dirty room, kind of keep all the dirt out of the shop and so forth.
We see your driver, Paul McMahon, what exactly is Paul doing?
Paul's making, coming up with some little retainers for some shock springs and so forth that we're wanting to run. So Paul's just taking some raw billet aluminum and making some nice little retainers there. We like to keep him working time to time.
Is he more of a hands-on driver?
Yeah. He probably used to be a machinist, and so he's real good at it and so forth.
Always helps, right?
Yeah.
What do you got going back out there?
We just tore a rear end apart there this morning, so it's in pieces. Getting ready to put a new ring and pinion and so forth on it, and we run our rears about 20 races and so forth, and we'd like to get 20 races out of the ring and pinion, but sometimes it doesn't make it, so we got to put a new one on. Out here is just the main shop area. Different race cars sitting around, and we also have our cars in our trailer that we have on the road with us, and these are just some new ones for down the road whenever we need them. It's nice to have plenty of cars sitting here for when you do come in after a long trip and so forth, and be able to just grab one and throw an engine in it and wheels and so forth, and not actually, we try to get most of our building and so forth done during the winter, so that we're not, same with decals and paint and everything else, try to get it all done through the winter, save time, because it's pretty hectic, like 14 races this month, so you don't have a lot of time to be building stuff at this point. We do a lot of our own fabrication, parts and axles and so forth, so it keeps us hopping.
How many cars total do you have ready to go on the trailer?
Well, we carry two cars complete upstairs, and then obviously the car that we're racing, and then like I say, we always have, we're maintaining about an eight car inventory here most of the time. A few spare engines over there along the wall right now.
Are those ready to go?
Yeah, there's one there that needs a little bit of prep work yet, that we actually just got from Paul Kistler, who does a great job on our motors. We always have 5 of those with us on the road, 3 under the cabinet in the trailer, 1 in a spare car upstairs, and then 1 in the car we're racing. So I think we have, and then there's usually a motor or 2 back at Paul's being refreshed and so forth. But with the one we just got there, we have 9 engines in our inventory right now.
How many races do you race on those before you have to refresh them?
We shoot for 10, and at 10 then they go back. I just had one here the other week that we actually got it up to 13. everything was still real good with it, but just to avoid, you know, when you're trying to compete in points and so forth, you really have to be strict on the maintenance and from rear ends to engines to, you know, all the parts on your cars. So about every 10 races. And here's just the welding area. We have a small table here where I can put chassis and so forth on here and check things, and I just you know, do a lot of my fabrication and so forth here. We do all the, you know, dirty work back here, but I do my welding and so forth here. Of course, you know, Lincoln welders, they're second to none in my book. Over here, just another row of cars. Actually, a lot of this stuff, got a couple new cars here that were left from last year with our old paint scheme. Then we have a couple here that are this year's newer style cars that I've, you know, made a few changes and so forth with. And we have white bodies on those. We may do something with a little bit of a different paint scheme later this year. So that's, but I'm just trying to keep a good inventory of cars. Upstairs is just spare parts, wings. Like I said before, we try to get that stuff done during the winter and get all the graphics and so forth done, because it's just hard to do that during the season. So we got a good supply of wings, and some of the stuff we keep up there is just used parts that we're going to sell down the road and so forth. And
how many wings do you carry on hand over here?
I think whenever we had, I think, 12 or 13 top wings done this winter, and we always have a full, you know, supply of them in our trailer. And so far, I think we're only on our second one. We had one that we got tore up at Calistoga a few weeks back in a little collision we had out there, but a lot of it isn't necessarily getting upside down or crashing. A lot of it's just the wear and tear of, you know, rocks and so forth on the racetrack. But so far so good on that this year. We're still got a good supply left. This is just a parts inventory room. It's weeded down a little bit right now, just with having so many cars put together and the trailer's all loaded with all of its spares and so forth. But spare parts and so forth we kind of keep in here where they stay in the clean and out of the way, and that's same here. We got some spare rear ends and so forth here, but like I say, we get all that stuff prepped up over the winter so that when we need them, when we roll in here, because once the season starts, our season's kind of split into three groups. We run Florida, we come back here for a little bit, then we go to the West Coast for that's what I call the first swing. That's 8 or 9 weeks. Then we come in and we're racing around here. We have a couple weeks around here, and then we go on like a 6 weeks, our middle one. Then we're back here for a little bit in the summer for the summer nationals at the Grove, and so we don't get back here all that much. So we have to, you know, when we do roll in here, we actually have races going on here, so we have to have this stuff just sitting here that was prepared over the winter so that we can just grab it and put it in a car, or put another, you know, grab another car, whatever we need. Well, that was all part of my, when I had my chassis fabrication, and we built this like in 2007, and I built it just for a chassis fab shop. And that was actually, that car's near and dear to me, because that's a car that we, when I ran a house car, and you know, Jeff Shepard drove it for me for a year, and you know, we actually had a great 10. I think we ran 10 races and won 3 of those, and third at the Knoxville Nationals, won the Sharon Nationals, and so it was a pretty cool deal. When I built a fab shop there, I just took some pieces, and it's actually like half a car, you know, wing cut in half and everything. Quite a bit of work went into that wall piece, actually. But,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And This rest of the shop, we got a little weight room in here. We try to stay a little bit fit and trim, but
Kind of hard to do that on the
yeah, we
road.
don't. Yeah, when with our schedule and so forth, it's hard to find time to spend a lot of time doing that stuff.
All right, well, we thank you, Barry, for showing us around your shop. And I'm Erin Knoll with the World of Outlaws, and I'm here with the crew chief, Barry Jackson and CJB Motorsports team.
Thanks.